So that men in power and all of that. No, ignorance has been in power on both sides.
We have never seen men in power, and we have never seen women in power.
Mm.
So when we talk about, I hear a lot of people who are in this sort of woke culture talking about the fact that men have been in power for so long.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I'm like,
The
okay,
queen just died.
what you have seen is men who are completely out of alignment with their own masculinity. You've seen all the shadow expressions of masculinity. Same is true of femininity. And it just so happens that when men are out of alignment in terms of their masculine energies, then it turns to things like domination. It turns to things like tyranny. But when we start thinking that those things are men in power, we've lost our capacity to conceptualize of what a real man is.
Correct.
So I'm needing us to get, wait a minute. Neither gender has ever been in a state of power. They've been completely trapped in the unconscious versions of those energies.
I totally agree. Shout out to the misandry. Yeah. Shout out to the misogyny. Yeah. Let's just deal with it. The truth of the facts of the matter is, just going back to my teachings, going back to the order teachings, day one. Shout out to Amin, shout out to Ahmed, shout out to Dawood, man, Idris, man, just the OGs, Big by 10, who came through and was giving us a lot of that real, sacred, masculine energy, wisdom, knowledge, overstanding, understanding. It was brothers who really sat us down when we were young and let us know, man, that they had made mistakes. They were in their 40s and 50s, and they had told us that they was just living their life all wrong, all misunderstanding. Like, it was so much misunderstanding. And they were able to grab us and say, look, man, take this wisdom, heed the word, write this down, put this in your journal. One day, y'all going to turn 40, y'all going to turn 50. It's something wrong going on out here in the world where the men and the women and the fighting and the masculinity and some of them brothers had gone through ED, erectile dysfunction, during they times in their 40s. So this is where the Qigong and the swinging the weights, yes, the swinging of the weights on our members and all of that, that's where this stuff come from. Giving us the balance, letting us know what real men's supposed to be able to do and not what some of them not supposed to be able to do. Not just mentally, spiritually, sexually, emotionally, all of that. Them brothers was giving us the vitamins, the training, and the prayers to make us full. So when I see myself out here today, I could run into any most feminist female or whatever that is, and they always want to say, you're the misogyny, men did this, and the feminists and the women and I'm like, every man naturally is a feminist. What are you talking about? The real ones. However, it's like all males are under attack by this female thing. And then there's reciprocation for that. Because most men, shout out to, the MGTOW brothers, MGTOW. But, men going their own way. It makes sense. A lot of people are just frustrated. They don't understand. The opposite sex is not understanding. That's the opposite sex. Women out here thinking men and women are equal. That's not true. We are so different. How could we be equally and we different? That's the yin yang. That's one side of the yin saying, I don't need the yang. I ain't gonna be complete. Like, no, this thing came together to be a male-female, left hand, right hand, dominant, masculine, feminine, plus, minus, battery, positive, negative charge. We are those charges. We are these protons. The females, yes, y'all negative on that level. You are the receiving end of it. You receive. We give. Positive. Give in. Our members go like this. Your member go in. You receiving. That's the negative. Okay? We're the positive. Let's just look at this, what this is. Let's not try to be personal or be in our feelings about words. I think most females on the feminine side need to know this. Like, even when it comes to education, y'all feel to understand. We don't. We rationalize. Like, most of the time we can read the same book and not get the same understanding from it. So that just shows you that we are all wired differently and no one is at their full capacity. It seems that when men do come with the teachings of the full capacity, there's always some feminist thing to saying that you're trying to dominate and you're trying to, and it's like, no, even in Islam. There's some very dominant, real masculine type, over the top dudes when it comes to the fundamentalism that comes to Islam. And everybody's supposed to be submissive. You feel me? In Allah's eyes, we are female on that level. That's the every knee shall bow. However, there are rules and regulations. You know when somebody's taking advantage. You know when somebody's calling you the B word and they playing with you. Or when they call you the B word and they, for real trying to hurt your feelings. There's a difference. We have to learn how to discern. Women, a lot of y'all females, your girls, y'all never had a masculine figure around y'all. Your mama might have ran your daddy out the house. Your daddy might have just been whatever and just didn't care and left. So that leaves a gaping hole for that divine masculine to come in, or the sacred masculine to combine or even give any type of wisdom to that divine feminine female that's supposed to be there. Brothers got the flip side. Some of y'all mothers, y'all wasn't there, didn't care for y'all really like that. So when y'all get with other women out here, you missing something. People like that have to already know that they are infected with something. I don't date women that don't know their fathers. I never marry a woman who did not know her father. Me personally, you know what I mean? That's a whole lot of other energy that you got to run back. And, women that have been, kind of been on the carousel, married a few times here and there, all of that. You get with somebody that's fresh, you got your issues, they got their issues. You're going to have to deal with the issues before you start dealing with the person. That's just wisdom for me. Might as well start fresh, or as fresh as you can get. You know what I mean? It's like a used car. You want to look up and see, okay, what has this used car? And I hate to use people in that type of level because I know we're dealing with a certain level of humanity, but I want to bring the rationale to it. If you were buying a used car, or a house that was, or a bando, or whatever it was, and you were about to invest your time and money into this situation or business, you want to know the history of the business. You want to look up the car report and say, okay, it got crashed here, or this happened, or water damage, or whatever, because you're going to need to know this information to move forward in the future. We as human beings, I think the reason the war and the sexes and all of this is mostly our fault, the person in the mirror, because we don't know how to vet people. We've never taken the time to vet. We don't know how to vet. You just see somebody cute. Oh, never trust a big butt in the smile. The girl's poison. Shout out to BBD. It's a lot of wisdom out there. 40 Water and all of them. Too Short. Shout out to them dudes. The OGs from the town. Around there that, really put brothers up on game and gave information out. As gross as it may have sound, it was still real. So I just got to say that, man. It's real, man. Nobody's really been in power. The queen just died. It just became a king over there. And y'all know what I'm talking about, because whatever happens over there affects us over here. So that men in power and all of that, no, ignorance has been in power. On both sides. I got to take a quote from my man Trump, you know what I'm saying? It's bad people on both sides of this. It's a lot of ignorance on both sides of this. We don't even know how to make love to each other properly. We don't even know how to touch each other properly. It's a book called The Jewel and the Lotus, man. We got this back when we was real young types. It taught me everything about transmuting sexual energy. You got male and female inside you. She got male and female inside her. If we all are prejudiced or just imbalanced or malnourished and we just sticking to one side, how you gonna see the whole when your mind is closed? Just saying. Just a thought. It's a Moorish Mudd show. I get into that relationship advice too, you know what I'm saying? Peace and love.